The first time I saw her, she was chained to a gravity ring and laughing while she bled. That was the moment I knew something on Station Khepri was terribly wrong. They called it a joke. A tradition. A way to remind new arrivals where they stood in the hierarchy of humanity's expansion. When I stepped off the transport, boots echoing against alloy floors, the dockmasters grinned and shoved a datapad into my hands. "Welcome to Khepri, Marcus Hale," one of them said. "We got you a gift." The doors slid open and the smell hit me first: ozone, antiseptic, and fear. Then I saw her. She was small, even for her species, her pale blue skin mapped with dark fractures where subdermal plates had cracked. One of her wings, translucent and veined like stained glass, hung uselessly at her side, shredded at the base. The other twitched every few seconds, a reflex that hadn't learned it was already broken. The men around her were laughing. "She's yours for the week," the dockmaster said. "Broken alien. Won't survive long anyway." But that was only the beginning. I'd served in the outer conflicts long enough to recognize cruelty dressed up as humor. Still, nothing prepared me for the casual way they treated her, like a malfunctioning tool. She lifted her head when I stepped closer, her eyes too large for her face, reflecting the station lights like shattered stars. And she met my gaze. There was no rage in her eyes. No hatred. Just exhaustion. And something else. Oh. That look hit harder than any plasma round I'd ever taken. "What's her crime?" I asked. They laughed again. "She's Virellian," someone said. "They don't have crimes. They have functions." Hers failed. None of us were prepared for the truth. I was assigned a maintenance berth near the lower decks, the kind of place forgotten by command unless something exploded. They expected me to leave her there. Most did. The gravity ring was designed to keep her upright, to display her like an exhibit. Like a warning. Instead, I ordered the ring shut down. The laughter stopped. "You can't do that," the dockmaster said. "She's property." I looked back at her. Up close, I could see the microimplants embedded along her spine, control nodes. Experimental. Illegal under at least 3 interstellar accords. Her breathing stuttered every time one sparked. "She's alive," I said. "That's enough." What I saw next changed everything. When I reached for the shackles, she flinched so hard she nearly collapsed. Her voice, if you could call it that, came out as a broken harmonic whisper. "Pain, expected," she said. "Termination, soon?" Something in my chest cracked open. "No," I told her. "Not today." I carried her out of that bay under 100 silent stares. No one stopped me. On Khepri, entertainment mattered more than justice, but even they sensed something had shifted. Or maybe they were just curious how badly this would end. They were right to wonder. In my quarters, I laid her on the med table and sealed the door. The station AI warned me about protocol violations. I muted it. As I worked, her eyes never left my face, tracking every movement with careful precision as if memorizing me. "Why?" she asked finally. It was the most human question I'd heard in years. "Because someone should," I said. But that answer wasn't enough. Not for her. Not for what was coming. The Virellians were an ancient species revered for their biotech. Humanity didn't conquer them, we harvested them. Their bodies adapted to almost anything. Their minds processed emotion like mathematics. Until we broke that too. As I removed the first implant, alarms flickered briefly before I severed the signal. She screamed then, not loudly but deeply, like the sound came from somewhere buried beneath centuries of silence. I almost stopped. Almost. But that was only the beginning. Over the next days, word spread. People came by my berth pretending to check diagnostics, pretending not to watch through the glass. They whispered that I was wasting resources, that I was going soft. They didn't see her learning to walk again without the gravity ring. They didn't see her wings slowly knitting under regeneration foam. They didn't hear her laugh, the real one, when I burned the first batch of station rations and set off the fire suppressant. Her name was Salith. She told me what they'd done to her people. How the implants weren't just control devices, they were dampeners. Designed to suppress Virellian emotional resonance. To make them compliant. "They feared us," she said one night, her voice stronger now. "So they made us quiet." I knew then this wasn't about kindness. It was about guilt. But none of that explained the files I found hidden in her implant core. Around the midpoint of her recovery, while rerouting her neural lattice, I accessed a sealed memory vault. At first it looked like corrupted data. Then the images resolved. Star maps. Human colonies. Defense grids. And a projection of Earth. My hands started shaking. "Salith," I said slowly, "what is this?" She looked away. That, she said, is why they broke me. Wait. This was not what I expected. Salith wasn't just any Virellian. She was an emissary. A failsafe. Her species had foreseen humanity's expansion turning into consumption. They had prepared a response, not an invasion but a correction. She was the key. If activated, her neural resonance could awaken dormant biotech seeded across human space. Systems humanity didn't even know it relied on. Life support. Terraformers. Jump gates. She could shut it all down. Or save it. They wanted me obedient, she said. Or dead. The station shuddered then, a deep vibration rolling through the decks. Red lights flared. Security breach. I knew they were coming. The dockmasters. Command. Everyone who'd laughed. They burst into my quarters, weapons raised. Salith stood beside me, wings spread, not in threat but in defiance. She belongs to us, the commander said. No, I replied. She doesn't. What happened next will haunt Khepri forever. Salith stepped forward, her eyes glowing faintly. For the first time I felt it, the resonance. Not sound. Not light. Emotion amplified into reality. The station systems flickered. Weapons powered down. Gravity shifted. Humans fell to their knees, overwhelmed by something they'd never learned to process. The weight of every life they'd crushed to get here. Salith could have ended them. She looked at me instead. Choose, she said. I thought of Earth. Of my sister back home, breathing recycled air under a dying sky. Of all the stations like Khepri. Give them a chance, I said. But make them feel it. She nodded. The resonance surged, not destruction but connection. Every human on Khepri felt it, the pain of the Virellians, the fear, the loss. Not as punishment. As understanding. Men cried. Women screamed. Some begged. When it ended, the station was silent. Salith collapsed into my arms. But that was not the end. Word spread faster than light ever could. Other stations reported awakenings. Not attacks, warnings. Humanity had been seen. Judged. Negotiations began within days. Real ones. Not backed by guns. Salith left eventually. She had to. Her people needed her. On the day she departed, she stood at the edge of the hangar, wings fully healed now radiant. They handed me to you for fun, she said softly. They thought you would break me more. I smiled sadly. They didn't know me very well. She touched my forehead, a Virellian gesture of gratitude. You reminded us, she said, that humanity is not finished. As her ship vanished into the stars, I realized something chilling and beautiful. We hadn't been spared because we were strong. We'd been spared because one broken alien woman was given to the wrong man. And that mistake saved us all.